over.
Okay, excellent. All right, I'm recording. We can begin.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Perkerson Elementary School's Go-To meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. Our first order of business is to call roll and review our norms. The secretary will now take the roll.
Miss Bixler,
Here.
Pastor Poole.
Here.
Perfect. Thank you. I am here. Miss Holmes is absent. Miss Walker.
Here.
Perfect. And then our other parent is not here. Miss Muhammad is not, I don't see her on the screen, but we do have 4 members present, so that would establish our quorum, Miss Bixler.
All right. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all.
Ms. Bixler,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to send you a text in just a minute.
Okay. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda? No? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Um, all in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
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 All opposed, say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please identify yourself or raise your hand. All right. All right. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. Do I still do that? Still need to do it to get down to what we're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? All right. May I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
May I have a second? All in a second motion? Second the motion?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please identify yourself or raise your hand. Okay. Well, we will now move on to the discussion items on our agenda. And discussion item number 1 is the final budget recommendation. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yo,
Okay.
I'm trying to get to where I can share my screen with you. I apologize.
All right. We will now move to our next item of business, the final budget recommendation presentation. Principal Ford, please share with us your final budget recommendation.
Okay, guys. So today our budget presentation will be short because there were no changes made after we had our last meeting. So I wanted to go over the budget by function with everyone. If you'll take a look at this slide on my screen, you'll be able to see instruction, pupil services, improvement of instructional services, instructional staff training, all of the different areas in which money has been allocated so that you can see that the majority of the funds for our upcoming budget went into instruction, which is a combination of staffing as well as materials and supplies and anything else that would be related to paying for our students being able to be properly educated. Um, and then you can also see the breakdown of the remainder of those funds. There were no changes at all from what we spoke about in our last meeting. The things that we did change in the previous, oh, we have another member joining us right now. the things that we did speak about as far as changes were concerned related to certain staff being able to be maybe split or shared. Those changes were made and approved. So there are no additional changes to the budget at this time. Wanted to provide you all with a chance to ask any clarifying questions.
Once this budget is or has been presented or the final presentation to the person that you have to, will they approve or will they make recommendations from this budget? Or
So the budget has already been approved.
It's been approved. Okay.
Last week I had a staffing conference, and at that staffing conference with HR and the area and superintendent, I presented the budget and also presented the conversation elements that we spoke about in our last meeting, and all of that was approved. So it is all encompassed in the budget by function that you're looking at right now.
Okay.
I know that some of the teachers have heard me speak about the per pupil allocation. And so we are, if you see the projected enrollment, we are projected to be enrolled at 300 students, which is 21 students less than what we had for our projected enrollment this school year. And then you also can see, if you go down to the last row under per pupil, you can see that the total per pupil allocation is around $22,055. Now, of course, you know that that is an average of students with special education needs and students who receive additional services. You'll see also the FTE, or the full-time equivalent, in that first column. That equates to the number of adult staff members that have been allocated at our school, and then what the budget amount is in that middle column of each one of those areas.
Mm.
Because there's not really a lot to cover other than that. Does anyone have any questions about the finalized budget?
Okay, so that's it.
That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you, Principal Ford, for sharing this information. I will now entertain a motion to approve this budget.
Oh, Ms. Jacoby is raising her hand.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Ms. Jacoby.
Just a quick question, Principal Ford. Can you show them the pie chart that's part of that presentation slide? You'll see on slide 31, we wanted you to like pull that because that's a really good visual for
I
everybody.
can't, Diane. The reason why I didn't I saw that that was requested, but I don't have access any longer. I'm locked out of the budgets right now. And so I went in to copy and paste it to put it in, and I don't have access to the budget any longer until Kathleen Liu unlocks
Oh,
it.
okay.
So I had access to this, which is not the pie function, but it gives the same.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Once you get access to it, though, please drop it in the presentation so that when people go to look at it later, they have the full picture. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Fixer, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will now entertain a motion to approve this budget.
I motion that we approve the budget.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I make a second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please identify yourself or raise your hand. So, Mr. Ford, is that it for this
It is.
meeting?
I don't
Okay.
have any additional information right now.
Okay.
Of course, you guys know that we have MAP testing and Georgia Milestone coming up, and we'll be working on getting the word out for that. Does anyone else have any additional announcements? All right, guys, we're going to call this the shortest meeting in the
All
history of Go Team meetings, and I want to thank you all for being here.
We've reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have
I
a
second.
second?
I
Okay.
second that we end the meeting.
All in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, identify yourselves or raise your hand. All right, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, guys.